Hello bookworms! Today I'm back with another Top 5 Wednesday video. Top 5 Wednesday is created by Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey. I will link her channel and the Goodreads group down below in case you're interested in participating in future topics. This week's topic is Halloween recommendations, which is really fun because Halloween is coming up on Saturday, so even though it's cutting it a little bit close, maybe you'll have a shot to read at least one of these books by the time Halloween comes. So the first book that I have to choose is one that I've been talking about a lot on my channel so far because I just read it this month and I seriously love it so much, and it's Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare Blake, and it's amazing. If you like the TV show Supernatural, you will like this book. Or I take that back, you will love this book because it's really, really good. It's really well written. It's such a beautiful story, and it's about ghosts, and it's just really good, and you should read it, and you should trust me on this. The next book that I have is a series of books, but I'm only going to hold up one of them, and that is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This series follows a group of boys named the Raven Boys who go to this special school, and they become friends with this girl named Blue, and her entire family is psychics. They end up teaming up together on a search to find this to find this king called Glendower. There's just a lot of paranormal type things that happen, but it's set in a world that could very much be our own. Just the characters are so well written and so intricate, and their relationship with each other is just amazing. I just finished reading the third book this month, and I'm so in love with it and so in love with all of the characters. There's a paragraph in the book where Blue had an inner monologue about their friendship, realizing that each one of them is really obsessed with each other. They're always thinking about each other, even though they don't necessarily say it out loud. That is absolutely how they feel, and Maggie Stiefvater is able to convey that perfectly. All the little tiny subtle things that make them who they are is really why this series is so compelling. So if you haven't read The Raven Boys yet, I definitely suggest that you do it. It does have a little bit of a slower start in the first book, but then the end there's a big payoff, and then the second book follows the similar type structure where it's a little bit slower in the beginning and then amazing when you get to the end, and then the third book is just amazing the entire way through. So that one's just completely full action packed. So if you had a little bit of trouble or struggled with the beginning of the series, I would still suggest trying to get through the first two, because by the third one you'll just be hooked. And then the fourth one's coming out next year, and I can't wait. And I'm probably gonna reread all of them before then because I just love it. That was a lot. I had a lot to say about the Raven Boys. The next book is also a series, and that is The Archived and the Unbound by Victoria Schwab. The third book is rumored to be coming out sometime next year, and I just read on Goodreads that it has a title, so that's really exciting. But this book follows a girl named Mackenzie Bishop, and she is kind of like a librarian for the dead. She works in a place, I believe it's called the Archives, and there are people called histories that are kind of like ghosts that tend to wander off and escape the archives, and it's her job to get them to go through the correct door to send them back. And it's just really interesting. It's a really, really great ghost story. It was definitely a little bit scary, and it's just really, really, really good. And the second one is really good, and I really hope that the third one comes out soon because I just really, I love it. And then my next two books that I have to show you, the last two, are both by Neil Gaiman, because really you could read anything by Neil Gaiman for a Halloween read and it would be completely wonderful and satisfying and everything that you're looking for. But particularly two of my favorites are Coraline. I really, really love this book. I think a lot of people are familiar with it because they also turned it into a film, but it's kind of Alice in Wonderland-esque, and it's this little girl and she gets transported to this other area, and it mirrors her world, but there are a lot of differences where she has a woman called the other mother who is really creepy, and she has buttons for eyes, and she wants to put buttons on Coraline's eyes, and it's just really fun. It's a really she's just a really bored little girl, and she just wants to do something interesting, and then she realizes how crazy it is away from her house, and it's really spooky. And one of the many times that I have met Neil Gaiman, he actually signed this book for me. exciting. And the other one of his that I have is The Graveyard Book. And this one is for children. I believe it ended up winning an award, but I got it before that happened. It's really good, really scary. Like within the first chapter, I was like, wow, really? This is for kids? Like this is a graphic type thing. It's this little boy and his parents are murdered when he's a baby. And they explain that like pretty explicitly. And then he ends up going and living in this graveyard and being raised by like ghosts and vampires and lots of different supernatural creatures. And it's just really, really like creepy and really good. And obviously Neil Gaiman's writing is so magical. Like he just, everything that he says and everything that he writes is perfect. So if you haven't read anything by him, you have to. Like, it should be the #1 thing on your list of things to do, is read anything by Neil Gaiman. So those are the top 5 Halloween reads that I have for you. There are so many other great horror books too, so I'm really looking forward to watching everyone else's videos. If there are any other Halloween books that you think I should have included on my list, or some of your favorites that maybe I might not have read, I would love to know what they are if you let me know in the comments below, and we can keep talking about some horror. And that is all for this video. I'll see you guys soon with a new one. Happy Halloween!